Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose. I apologize if there's any background noise, but if you can't hear it, no worries. Today we have an awesome review. I did an unboxing of this, and I'll include that in the upper right hand corner, so you can check out the unboxing. As well as I'll include links to everything I can down below, whether you want to buy them or just check them out. And that is the Bestech Goblin. Woo! So nice. Oh, here, I need to clean this off. Oh, what is that? The ugly brown glove can clean? I don't even know. So this is the Bestech Goblin. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Really cool. I absolutely love this carbon fiber. It's like a contoured carbon fiber. I don't even know if this is like a crushed carbon fiber. If you know exactly what type of carbon fiber this is, please comment down below. Other than that, this is my first Bestech knives. I've heard of them, never really looked into them, just because I felt they weren't my style. And then I saw this bad boy on Mass Drop, and I couldn't pass it up. Couldn't pass it up. It comes in 3 different variations as far as handles, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But other than that, let's get into this review with the standards. Of course, we're going to go over the specs. So, the overall length is 5.75 inches. The blade length is 2 inches. The blade width in this direction or height is 1.125 inches tall. And the blade thickness is 0.13 inches thick. The cool thing with the blade is that they include the blade from the actual cutting edge. So, that's the actual cutting length is 2 inches, as you can see here with my mat. Other than that, the handle length is 3.75 inches, and the handle thickness is 0.46 inches thick, so just under a half inch. And then the overall weight is 2.5 ounces, so lightweight offering, small, compact, definitely EDC, urban EDC, and whatnot. So now let's get into it. Now this is described as being a sheep's foot blade. Personally, I would call it more of a Warncliffe, but because there's just a slight curve down to the point, I guess they call it a sheep's foot. But either way, the blade is definitely an attractive part of this knife and overall design. Really cool angles and shapes with it. There's an ever so slight curve to the blade, so it isn't flat like a Warncliffe either, or a true kind of sheep's foot. But we do have jimping up top. It looks like to be like two-toned, almost like a mirrored polish on the saber grind flat there, and then like a satin or even a stone wash finish up top there, or even bead blasted. I can't really tell. But yeah, just looks sick. It has an awesome finger choil or sharpening choil. Works great for both. Saber grind, plain edge blade. We have the little Bestech logoing up top, which I'm not a huge fan of their logo, but it is what it is. It's small. And then on the other side, we have the knife name, and it's called the Goblin. And then we have the blade steel, which is S35VN, which is an excellent blade steel. They also make a knife just like it, basically the same handle design, just a slightly different blade shape. More of a true sheep's foot, and that one's called the Imp. But it's more or less identical, just a different blade shape. That being said, as far as deployment, it is a designated flipper. The flipper extends out there and flips very well. It runs on ball bearing washers or whatever to help it flip out. And yeah, just awesome. There is a little bit of jimping on the flipper itself, and the flipper kind of becomes a finger guard, but if you choke up over it, it still locks it in between there. Now, surprisingly, because it has such a unique handle shape, I was worried about how it'd feel in hand, but overall, everything just fits into place. You get a full 4-finger grip, and then your thumb locks right into that indent into the top spine of the blade and lands right on that jimping. And it is like solid. Like you're just solidly locked in there. Would be great for some small carving. Also, just the blade shape and design itself just is perfect for finer cuts as far as like paper. You can get through here. You know, you can do some more delicate carving work. So if you need to do some crafts or whatever, or need to make some small material cuts, this thing will work great for it. It came razor sharp, and because of the high saber grind, this thing is an excellent slicer. So just to show that off for its capacity, it's just great. The handle, super cool, titanium frame, titanium frame lock, has this sweet inlay of this crushed carbon fiber. The pivot pin is kind of satin finish there. Silver hardware, has a titanium backspacer that also is the lanyard slot, and then it is numbered 33 out of 100, so they only made 100 pieces of this, and I believe it's sold out on bladehq.com, but I'll include the link down below, as well as the imp, which is basically the same knife, just different. But too, it depends on the model, so I believe this carbon fiber one is sold out. The other version of it should be good. It does have kind of like this notched out portion here for where the flipper is, so your finger can kind of follow the flipper through, make sure you get a full pull. And then it has some like milled out spots just for style and look. It is a frame lock. We have a titanium pocket clip, and it does have a stainless steel lock bar insert / over travel stop. Now the cool thing, and probably the hardest thing to show off, is that the frame, the actual titanium frame, you can see that little slot in there. It's actually milled out, like it's thinned out in this portion of the frame. So this titanium is thinned out on both sides to reduce weight, which I thought is super cool. I've never seen that before, so definitely stepping it up there. And it has like a flathead pivot pin for adjustment, so makes it much more practical. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I don't know, this thing is classy, small, and just fun to use and carry. Definitely recommend it in a lot of urban EDC, or even as a gentleman's carry, would recommend this. Too, if you're a box cutter somewhere, you got to open up a lot of boxes or packaging, this thing is a wizard at that. So speaking of that, I'm going to compare it to some of my other smaller knives. We got the CRKT Squid. We have the Cold Steel Tough Light. We have the Dejo Badger. That's a fun little tank. We have the CRKT Pillar, I don't even know how to say it. And then we got the Kershaw Shuffle. So if we line up the tips with that number 6 line there, you can kind of see the overall length and shape. So there you have it. Blade length wise, they're all pretty similar. It has a solid 2-inch cutting edge, which is similar to the Pillar and to the Shuffle, as well as the Tough Light. Handle wise, Tough Light has the longest handle, Pillar second, but the Goblin actually has one of the smaller handles besides the Dejo Badger. Blade thickness, let's check it out. Looks like about the same thickness as the Tough Light. Tough Light might just be a hair thicker. Handle wise, Tough Light is thicker. So close that. Grid Squid definitely has the longer cutting edge, but similar length in blades. Blade thickness looks actually about the same, but handle thickness, the Grid Squid is definitely thinner. This thing's a brute. The Dejo Badger is just a brute. Blade thickness goes to the Dejo Badger. Handle thickness is about the same. I got to do a review of this blade. This thing's fun, but definitely lighter. That Badger is pretty heavy. CRKT Pillar. Blade thickness is thicker on the Pillar. Handle thickness is about the same. The Pillar is pretty heavy itself just because it has a stainless steel frame lock. And then the Kershaw Shuffle. It looks like the Goblin might just be a hair thicker handle-wise. The shuffle is about the same. Weight wise, it's actually pretty similar as well. So cool. All right, guys. So last test is the ugly brown glove test. Uh, just to see how it works with the cloth glove. You're gonna close it. The carbon fiber is a little slick, but those grooves that are milled out into it help you kind of hold on to it a little bit better. And the titanium is kind of a matte finish, so it adds a little bit of texture. Flipper is accessible in hand in this grip. It does pretty much lock itself in place just because that flipper locks in between the two fingers, and then your thumb rests in that jimped groove there. But as far as the rest of the handle, is kind of slick. Trying to unlock. It's a little weird because the handle does kind of taper, so I wish it was a little bit thicker there, just for deploying and disengaging the lock. But honestly, for the design and how it feels ergonomically in hand, it actually works really well. So does it pass the ugly brown glove test? Yes, it does. Definitely isn't the greatest. I'd give it about a 70%, 75%, somewhere around there. But does pass. So there you guys have it. Definitely an awesome, awesome blade. I think a lot of people who like more classier looking blades would really appreciate this, or people who like smaller, better blades. Kind of reminds me, fit and finish wise, of like a ZT or a high-end Kaiser. One of those really nicer blades. The design is really unique, and it almost seems custom, just with the uniqueness of it. So definitely check it out if you want like a show your piece. Other than that, guys, awesome blade. Check it out. Links will be included down below. Check out these other two videos here. Click that big round logo button there. Check the eye in the upper right hand corner. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you outside.